started this new thing where I'm trying to do a vlog with a blog. And so I've done one on my Love Warriors. I did one last week on ABA. And this week, I want to finish that series. So last week, I spoke to you about Henry's tantrums inside of the family home and how we used ABA to decrease his behaviors by 75%. And so this week, I wanted to talk to you about that other 25%. Now, this is going to be controversial because in ABA practice, we would use science to get us to the finish line. And this is really true in a clean setting, right? And by that, I mean a controlled setting. So if I'm in a clinic and there are no distractions, I've got a therapy team, or there's a therapy team coming into my family home, yep, we can control that environment and use the intervention. My family home, Mother's Day, Emma Thompson, SNL 2019, anybody? Yeah, that's a little bit more realistic of what my family home looks like. Declan, my 17-month-old, this weekend learned how to hang from our chandelier. I'm not making that up. He's got like this little cup of milk and he's just hanging. Look, mommy, what I can do now. And so our homes are wild with little kids, and it's hard to stay in peace and alignment with that alone. And on top of that, we're grown ups and we have grown up problems too. And so this week I wrote about that. I've personally been going through something since last fall and really been out of alignment. And so when I was trying to bring Henry to the full 100%, if not, having those bursts and those tantrums, I also needed to take a really hard look at myself and say, all right, in order to create the type of environment for Henry to thrive in, what are you doing for you to make sure this is an environment that you thrive into? And so I took a step back and I realized that I was hanging on and I wasn't surrendering and I wasn't looking at my inner knowing, and I was just being reactive. I was losing my shit in my home sometimes, and everybody does it. But it's not cool, right? It's not a great place to stay. And so in order to bring my Henry home to the finish line and bring those tantrums down, yes, I needed ABA as the stepping point off. I need to teach my children what behaviors are acceptable and not acceptable in the family home. And I need to hold space for their big emotions and hold space for mine. And so I used my own inner authority this last week, and I took a deep dive in and returned myself to some spiritual practices that are outside of ABA. We did a lot of deep breaths. We did a lot of nature walks. We did a lot of meditations, a little bit of saging. And I don't expect everybody to use these spiritual practices to bring themselves back into alignment. But what I do know is that we've all got an inner wisdom and an inner knowing and an inner authority when it comes to ourselves and it comes to our children. And so to bring Henry through the finish line, because I don't live in a clinic setting, I live in a family home, I needed to use my own inner authority to find my peace and to lean into love. I hope that this message serves you. I thank you so much for being with me today, and I can't wait to see you next week.